is Fezokuhle Mthonti. I'm here at the commune in Johannesburg, South Africa. Today we are joining our voices against anti-imperialism. We know that imperialism will eventually fall. The anti-imperialism struggle comes from a network of people's movements, of social organizations, of various groups, political parties that want to call imperialism to an end. And we know that this is an ongoing fight and it is a consistent fight. And so we know that we need to employ different methodologies to do that. And so today we're going to be using poetry as a kind of mystica to reaffirm our commitment to the struggle and our preservation of our own goals, which is one day to eventually get to the kinds of political futures that we would like. So helping us doing that today is Aviwe, Damane, who is a cultural worker, Anele Sopazi, who comes from the Grummer School, Gwyneth Van Nel, who is also a cultural worker in Johannesburg, and then joining us from Abahlali basemjondolo, Busisiwe. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Charcoal black, souls of my black folk tremble, wail, choke while many of us think Leopold II is a joke. In slumber we claim to be woke with no land, naked, culture, our language stripped off. In slumber we claim to be woke with no land, naked, culture, our language stripped off. Blind to the core edging we walk in the footsteps of our ancestors. Blind to the core edging we walk in the footsteps of our ancestors. Stringed puppets fist in the air shouting, freedom, freedom, peace in our land, peace in our land. Stringed puppets with fists in the air shouting, freedom, freedom, peace in our land. When there's a raging war in the mind, who is with you of our allegiance? When the blind leads the blind. Some say it all began with the 1886 Berlin Conference, sorcery of a strange kind, aiming at the indigenous mind. With the barrel of a gun, plunder, rape. With the barrel of a gun, plunder, rape. Behind the veil is the Holy One. Greco-Roman fallacy masquerading as democracy. Greco-Roman fallacy masquerading as democracy. But deep down I know only time will tell who are the architects of poverty. But deep down I know only time will tell who are the architects of poverty. But deep down you know, only time will tell who are the architects of poverty. Thank you.
Home. No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. You only run to the border when you see everybody else running as well. Your neighbors running faster than you, breath bloody in their throats, and the boy you went to school with who kissed you dizzy behind the old tin factory is holding a gun bigger than his body. You only leave home when home won't let you stay. No one leaves home unless home chases you, fire under feet, hot blood in your belly. It's not something you ever thought of doing until the blade burnt threads into your neck, and even when you carried the anthem underneath your breath. Only tearing up your passport in airport toilets, sobbing as each mouthful of paper made it clear that you would not be going back. You have to understand, no one puts their child in a boat unless the sea is safer than the land. No one burns their palms under trains beneath carriages. No one spends days and nights in the stomach of a truck feeding on newspaper unless the miles traveled means something more than journey. No one crawls under fences, wants to be beaten, wants to be pitied. No one chooses refugee camps or strip searches where your body is left aching, or prison, because prison is safer than a city of fire, and one prison guard in the night is better than a truckload of men who look like your father. No one could take it. No one could stomach it. No one's skin would be tough enough. The go-home blacks, refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, sucking our country dry, niggas with their hands out, they smell strange, savage, messed up their own country, and now they want to mess ours up. How did the words, the dirty looks, roll off your backs? Maybe because the blow is softer than a limb that is torn off. Or the words are more tender than 14 men between your legs, or the insults are easier to swallow than rubble, than bone, than your child's body in pieces. I want to go home, but home is the mouth of a shark. Home is the barrel of the gun. And no one would leave home unless home chased you to the shore, unless home told you to quicken your legs. Leave your clothes behind, crawl through the desert, wade through the ocean, drown, save, beg, be hungry, forget pride. Your survival is more important. No one leaves home unless home is a sweaty voice in your ear saying, leave. Run away from me now. I don't know what I've become, but I know that anywhere is safer than here.
In the same way, a zygote grew to become an embryo and give rise to me. A single thought birthed paragraphs which became the concept of my poetry, see? In the same eloquent way my tongue has learned to formulate and project words, my hand has become skilled enough to shape them in shades of ink. Have you heard how my arm moves across the page as I fill its blanks with bland feelings? Have you noticed how this body of work moves unlike that of anyone? For in the same way that Daddy in heaven breathed into Uncle Adam and gave him life, I have shaped, broken, and recreated these celestial bodies of art that I am proud to call my own. It is undeniably evident that I too am now a maker, or a creator of sorts. I may not harbor the supernatural power to form a mother of nations from a rib alone, but I'm able to use the blood from my spilling heart and create bloody, beautiful masterpieces. This is me. Don't confuse the concept. This creation right here is rhythm and poetry. This is my way of healing. I write to break down and reform my imprisoned mind and allow myself to be free. I'm no trap queen. Better that be than trapped in a system which has brainwashed our revolutionary minds to ensure that each one of our kind is sterile and clean. See, I am the difference, fully equipped with the intellectual ability to question questions and write down the answers I find. Bear in mind that my mind may work in different ways to yours, and that is okay. For if God wanted you and I to function the same, he would have bestowed upon me your name. My word is insight. I write whatever feels right. I'd like to believe that freedom lies here in this free verse. We have long drawn the conclusion that our voices are louder when projected by words, and I refuse to be quiet. I've hidden behind false pretense long enough for my plea to turn silent. I have no physical weapons to join the fight for true emancipation, yet the love I bear for my people is just as violent. I do what I can, and I've been gifted with scriptural talent. There's a fire inside my soul, and those who know me well will burn the most, for I speak what I feel. No longer carry the desire for mass appeal, for my word is appealing unto myself. I am remedy. Come find me when you feel like dying to yourself.
Revolutionary greetings. My name is Busisiwe Diko from the Eastern Cape. I'm hereby to represent Abahlali baseMthonti social movement in South Africa as the coordinator of the Youth League. I'll be performing my poem titled Africa, an open wounded continent. Be it gold, be it diamond, you came and grabbed in numbers. Untold gunpowder, robes you traded for faithful African slaves. After discovering wealthy mines, you came and said, this is mine. You took control and established your lines to cultivate and harvest our vines. Ewe siwacandila mathafa banzi, siwacandila mathafa banzi, siziwelile ingxangxa sinengxondorha. Siziwelile ingxangxa sinengxondorha, sifunana nale nkululeko. Ewe sisilwa nale ngcinezelo ingapheliyo. Ewe siwacandila mathafa banzi, sifuna amadinga angazalisekiyo kaloku. Kodwa ngeke sithule sihlale nenxeba elingapholiyo, elingophiyo hleze lingenwe ngumoya liphuze ukuphola. Africa, an open-wounded continent. You entered like a humble guest. With the time you were trading, yes, you graduated to the molest, and history is among the rest. Ngeke sithule nenxebe engapholiyo engophiyo hleze ngwene moya liphuza ukuphola. To African boys and girls, you instantly prescribed drugs. This education is null. This is clothing and these are rags. Ngeke sithule nenxebe engapholiyo engophiyo hleze ngenwe moya liphuza ukuphola. And little by little, you erode all African values, orders and not. This is language that is not. Need I mention you corrupted our thoughts. Africa, an open-wounded continent. You seem to understand civilization, but what you are doing is colonization. And contrary is primitive. Don't you accept wisdom is astronomically. Africa, an open-wounded continent. So now you pretend like you're the brother of Africa, yet our land is still with your title deeds. Our sons are toiling with unemployment, and when you discover talent, their brains rain and drain in the rain. Africa, an open-wounded continent. There's the Africa, an open-wounded continent, and there's the reality, a twisted reality. Yes, a twisted reality by the hands of the oppressor. The heart of our nation bleeds. The spear is pointed at us, the future leaders. Our wealthy is controlled by thieves. Africa, an open-wounded continent. Our swollen feet, our eyes filled with tears. So long this fight started, and so long it's going, till we regain again what is ours again. Africa, an open-wounded continent. The fallen nation, a confused generation, a distracted society, the bones of our forefathers, the blood and bodies of our brothers and sisters. The leaders of the world divide us into two, but if I see it and you see it too, why don't we raise our voice? Why don't we make our choice? And between what's true and what's false, why don't we unite and sing Ubuntu? Africa, an open-wounded continent.